Hi, in this video I'm going to walk you through creating the necessary images for your portfolio template page. Before we start creating any images, however, we want to make sure that we have a images folder in our final project folder. Okay, so let's do that now. So I'm going to come in here to the final project folder, and I do not have an images folder. I'm just going to right click, new folder, and title it images. With that being created, I can come now and actually start working on some new images. So I'm going to come here to the PIXLR.com/X/website. It's the PIXLR X website where we're going to create two images. We're going to create a header image and we're going to create a spacer image. So to start, we're going to just click Create New. We're not going to select any of these presets for us. We're instead going to use over here on the right hand side. We're going to get rid of untitled. We're going to say header-image. We don't specify the file type at this point. We're going to set the width to 600 and we're going to set the height to 100. And you need to use those settings because when we start to format our HTML and our CSS, it is going to use these sizes. Okay, so this background here, we're going to leave it set to off. Okay, setting it to off or keeping it as off is going to create a transparent background of the image, which is what we want, because once we start to format our HTML page with CSS, we're going to use CSS we're going to use CSS to format the colors of our web page. So if our image is set to transparent, the background color of the web page will show through the image. So we want to make sure that the background is turned off. We're going to click Create, and sure enough, here we go. We've got a 600 by 100 image, and it's a transparent background. And you can always see a transparent background or no one, because it'll always have this checkerboard background. That always specifies a transparent background. So what we're going to do on this is just really very easy. Essentially, your header image is just going to be your full name. Okay, so I'm just going to come over here. I mean, you can make it, you can add more to it and you can fancy it up all you want, but the big requirements here are it needs to have your name and it needs to use the appropriate text color. So what do I mean by text color? Let's take a minute here and look at our color palettes. You should have picked a color palette for your web page, right? And it should have been at least it should have at least 2 different colors, okay? But if you use the CSS color palettes page, or the W3 Schools color palettes page, they come in 4 colors. Okay, so this is the one I selected. I selected this one right here. And I'm going to use this hex number 618685, this darker greenish blue kind of color. I'm going to use that for my header area. But if you notice, the text that's written on it is white. So that's telling you, if you're having this color as your background, this is the text color you should use. So when I'm creating my image, I need to ensure that I use the appropriate text color. So I need to use white. So we're going to come back here. Okay, we're just going to click on this T for the text tool. I'm going to add a new text area. It's really big. Okay, so I'm just going to get it to shrink. Okay, we're just going to change this. I'm going to say Rachel Boylan. Okay, it's too big and I do not want it this size. Okay, never mind. You're killing me. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to change the size of it from 80 to 60. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab on it here, and if I pull it down, it's going to give me these little pink bars that tell me where I'm centered at, and that's pretty centered for me and I'm good with that, so I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, so now I do not want to add a layer, sorry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to highlight this, and I don't want to be Arial. For me, I wanted to be, I found this one that I liked here and it's called chookies. Okay, so that's literally it. It's going to be a transparent, actually I'm going to go up a little. It's going to be a transparent background because the color background that I selected on the palette will come through the background, and it's going to have white text. Like I said, you can embellish your header image as you want, but it must have your name in it, and it must use the appropriate color that goes along, or that is the appropriate contrast to the background color you select in your palette. Okay, that is all that is the requirement. So once we have this done, we're just going to click Save. And then we're going to save it as a PNG. You want to ensure you save it as a PNG. You change any of the other things, you may lose your transparency, and you don't want to do that. So then we're going to go Download. Okay, it's going to open up where you want to put it. I've got it going to the Final Project Images folder, and I'm going to click Save. Okay, with that one is done. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. I'm done with this one for now. I'm going to close this. It's going to take me back to the beginning. It shows me the one that I already created, and I can edit this if I want, but I don't need to. I'm going to create a new one. Okay, this one's going to be weird. Okay, we're going to call it Space. And it's going to simply be 1 pixel by 1 pixel. It's going to be transparent, so we're going to keep the background turned off, and we're going to click Create. Now you look here and you're like, okay, where is it? Yeah, because it's super, super small. But so the space image is just kind of like a web designer's like little cheat. Okay, so sometimes you need to create spacing or buffering, or just give some room on your page, and you don't want to use that non-break space symbol over and over and over again. This is perfect because it's just 1 pixel by 1 pixel, but in the actual image tag in your HTML, you can change it to whatever width or whatever size, height you want. So you can totally edit how things lay out on the page with just creating this one little 1 pixel by 1 pixel transparent image. Okay, so we won't use it as a 1 pixel by 1 pixel in our template page. It'll have different sizes, but when we create it, it only needs to be 1 by 1. Okay, so with that, I'm going to save this. Make sure it's saved as PNG so that I keep the transparency. I'm going to download it. I'm going to download it to the same place, the Images folder, and voila, we are done. So what we should have now in our Images folder is we should have 2 images, one called Header Image, one called Space. They should both be transparent images. This header image should have your name in it. The text should be the appropriate color to contrast with your background color that you selected in your palette. It should be 600 by 100 pixels. This space, transparent, 1 pixel by 1 pixel. Okay, that's all you need.